But I remember they used to use me as, they do a lot of insulting.
Yeah.
I guess to harden you,
Yes.
sort of. I don't know. But that's their way of training, part of the training.
Yeah.
So they'll tell all these other girls, work hard, do well in this training so that you can become a policeman and afford to buy Fair and Lovely and become as brown as this one. You say, I know. So for me, all this time, I'm just thinking, what? Oh, God. Yeah.
God. So how was the training like? Apart from the talk?
Yes. The talk was crazy. But yes, so the training was it wasn't
intense.
It wasn't bad. It was intense. But it wasn't horrible. Now looking back, I can say it wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
Well, would wake up. The hardest bit for me was waking up would wake up at 2 a.m.
Oh.
Yes, every single day. Would wake up at 2 a.m. to go and run.
Okay.
And you're running not within the compound, but within the roads of Nyeri. It's in Nyeri, yes, it's in Nyeri. So would run within the roads of, like on the roads, the tarmac of Nyeri.
Yeah.
But we had security. We had a lot of security. But where it was hard. And basically the cold. Yes, and cold. The first 2 weeks it was so difficult. You get blisters on your feet. Makasofty coming from a very soft life, a soft life, a life where you don't even have to wash dishes. You don't even have to cook. Everything is done for you. Because now by the time you're in class 4, maybe that's when you're starting to be given duties in the house, chores in the house. And but that's the time that I moved to my grandmother's, and now there it was soft life, Yes. So
So how was it like on this 2 years? Like, okay, you have run for how long probably?
For like 2 hours. It will be like you have to reach a certain place.
Yeah.
When you reach a certain place, all of you turn back.
Okay.
You get.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be left behind.
Yeah.
So as much as your feet are in pain, you have to jikaza, because remember in Usiku, it's on the road. You don't know what can happen. You're around girl.
Yeah.
So you just jikaza and stay with the rest. However you do it,
Yeah.
So yes, we'd wake up at 2 a.m. or is it 4 a.m.? One of the, I don't know. Yeah. So we'd wake up and go run.
Yeah.
And then after running, we'd come back, go for breakfast, take a shower. Then the rest of them go pick our guns. Okay. Because you'd carry a G3. You carry a G3.
Yeah.
All throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yes. But now you go pick your guns in the armory.
Okay.
Then once you picked your gun, now you go for law class.
Okay.
So most of the day was composed of either law classes or marching.
Okay.
Yes. So I didn't mind the law classes. I loved them because I was like a good student.
Yeah.
So I was always top. So I liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I liked the law classes. They were not bad. I liked that part.
Okay.
Marching also was not bad, although it was in the sun.
Yeah.
But we had her.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't bad also learning that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'd march. Then from there at around 4, you go for duties.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're given your assigned different duties.
Okay.
You have now you and in Kiganjo, I remember you couldn't walk alone.
Yeah.
It was a rule. You can never be found alone. It was either you are, I don't remember what they used to call a group of us, like a team.
Yeah.
Or you are two.
Okay.
You can't
Even in the compound.
Yes, even within the and wherever you are, you have to be two of you. And you have to be, of course, dressed in the correct. If you're doing duties, you have uniform for that. You have to be dressed correctly for that.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was most of our day.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did you do it?
I did it for 6 months.
What?
I left just before pass out, because pass out is at 9 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so they gave us a break at 6 months.
Okay.
A week's break, and then when I disappeared.
Why did you disappear?
I disappeared because now we're talking with my mom.
Yes.
We are communicating. I'm telling her, hey, this place is stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And I remember what really convinced me to leave was the fact that during the visiting day, we had one visiting day.
Okay.
I waited for my dad and he didn't.
again.
Yes. He just sent a message with my auntie and my uncle. They came and told me your dad's car broke down, so he couldn't come. Then in my head, I was like, but you will come with you. You have your car.
And that is after how long?
And I was like, after maybe 3
months of not seeing him.
Yeah. So I felt like he's abandoned me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking on phone?
No.
The whole time?
Yes. Yeah. But yeah. Well, that's what convinced me to leave. Because I was like, hey, here I'm alone.
Yeah.
I've been left alone now. It's just me and Kiganjo.
Yeah.
And so now I have to choose myself. Yeah. So I remember my mom had tried sending so many of my relatives to come and try and steal me, quote unquote, steal me. Yeah, try and help me to escape. But you know, those trainers, those officers have a way, they hide shame because they know that's gonna happen. Because I'm not the only one who was forced. Let's I know. I wasn't the only kid who was forced there. So yeah, so definitely they knew so many would try to escape. So yeah, that's my story, my movie. I should write a book, yeah?
You should write a book, and then it needs to be a movie.
I know. And Nigerian, just imagining the whole thing. Yeah, imagine.
Okay, but it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny now.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I look back and I say, I wish I had finished. You know, to see the outcome, yeah?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. But I know what I liked. Generally, I am a giver. Generally, just how God created me, and so I enjoy having enough to give. So I remember, while in Kiganjo, so many people are coming from very, very poor backgrounds, like really poor. So you're even paid as you're being trained. The government pays you.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So I remember I was the only kid, or one of the few, who had enough to eat. Because you know, the food at the mess is not as nice.
Okay.
Or maybe there are some days it's nice, there are some days it's not all that. So they had places where they would sell some food if you want to go and buy within the compound. Yeah?
Okay.
So I remember my mom now, I think to make up for all this, she'd send me a lot of money.
Oh
Yes. Now she's in Britain, she has money, so she'd send me money. And for me, what I would use it for is kujeni. Let's go. I buy you food. Not out of showing off, but out of let's share. I have. Let's go and have fun. Let's eat. Yeah. At least we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I liked that one. Yeah. And I remember when I was going to withdraw this money, because by that time M-Pesa was not, I think there was no connection between abroad and M-Pesa by that time.
Yeah.
So I remember my mom would send me maybe through the bank, Western Union or something.
Okay.
So the officers would have to take me and a few others to withdraw their money. So you're guarded all through guns and everything. So you're being taken to the bank. You're like a prince of a sort of. Yes. So you're being taken to the bank, but they're with you, like bumper to bumper. Yeah. So they'd wonder, this kid,
What a show and I.
yes. No, they knew my dad.
Yes.
Because I forgot to mention, my dad had gone through Kiganjo also. But out of choice.
Okay.
Yeah. For him, it was out of choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they knew my dad. Because maybe that by that time, the officers are people who had trained with him back then.
Okay.
Yeah. It was an interesting place, though.
Okay.
Because I remember some of the things they make us do, and it fascinates me. So Sundays would come from church, and then church was a must. You have to go. Like everyone else is going, you have to go. Okay, yeah. So we'd go to church, and then after church would be told to like now for it's mixed there. But the men stay in their barracks, and for us we stay in. So they would tell us to sit like on the lawn, on the grass, with knives. And that's how we would cut the grass. Yes, inch by inch for all of us. And by the time we were done, it was so beautifully, evenly done.
As in,
It was like a tactic. Yeah.
you never told you what you were learning from it.
No, they did tell me. Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are some of but the thing that I disliked the most was the shooting range.
Okay.
Now that is what scared me the most.
Was it hard?
It was scary because you can imagine we are many and everyone is shooting.
Yeah.
But for me, I would hide behind people and just follow them. Because you're lying like it's like in the movie, like you're lying on the grass, and now you're shooting and just crawling on your belly like that. So I'd have a chance to just hide behind my friend, and just follow them behind. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know there must have been something positive you learned from there.
For me, I would say, looking back, I learned a lot of tolerance.
Wow.
Yes. Tolerance and perseverance. Yes. Pushing beyond what your body is telling you.
Yeah.
Pushing beyond, I am tired.
Yeah.
And that's something I've been able to use in my life because even raising kids, the fact that I have twin boys, sometimes I am exhausted. Yes. I'm exhausted and I still have to be a mom. I still have to be an employee. I still have to do well at my job. So sometimes I've not even slept well. Yeah. But I still have to do every single thing that I'm required to do. So it gave me earlier on in my life, it gave me a whole lot of endurance. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
So we left off at you went for break.
Yeah.
One week break.
Yes. It was supposed to be a week's break. Then I disappeared. So by that time, my mom had told me don't go back. We had already organized everything. Okay. So by the time my people came to visit me, my relatives came to visit me during the visiting day, my mom and I had already planned. Yeah. So I gave them every single thing that I knew. I didn't like the suitcase. Okay. Every single thing that I knew was for me that needed to go back home. So by the time we give it the break, I'm done. Like I'm gone. And what I did was, because we're given uniform, you're given boots, you're given government stuff. So I left and I have told my friends, like in the box now, because later on I was brought for the box. Yes. I left and I've told them, here is everything. Yeah. Make sure you give it to the officer. Okay. So they don't think like I disappeared because that would be fine. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I did. I disappeared. Okay. So, but how I disappeared was I went back home to my grandma's. My dad's the grandma who's raised me, my dad's mom, and I sent for the week that I was on break, because then I knew they wouldn't suspect anything. Then from there, I told them, well, I've gone back, and then I took a matatu and came to Nairobi. Okay. Yes. Wow. So when I came to Nairobi, my mom had organized for me to live with one of my cousins. Okay. As I look for university. Yeah. Okay. So by it wasn't an easy stay also at my cousin. That's when I realized well, people are different. Yeah. Yeah. So it was also a tough stay. I remember I had to thank God. My mom used to send me a lot of money. Yeah. So, and also even Kiganjo, they had paid me. So I had a whole lot of money. Yeah. For my age, of course, at that time. Yeah. But I thank God for that, because at my cousins, so you see, maybe me was now a relative, and the workers would be served different food, and now her and her family would eat like nyama, I know, nice food, yummy food, but for us would eat like kideri every day. So for me, what I would do is I'd come to Nairobi. She used to live in Rongai. So I would come to Nairobi town almost every day and buy stuff, maybe cornflakes and things like that, and just take them so I can have something to buy for myself. Okay. That's nice. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you stayed with them for how long? So I stayed with them for some months. Okay. Some months. Then now, because Nazarene is not too far off, it's not too far from where they used to stay. Okay. So I opted to try Nazarene. Actually, that was the first university that I applied to. Okay. And I was actually late because by that time it was January. Okay. And people were reporting already, and here I am registering. By the grace of God, they took me in. Okay. I had, thank God, I had a fee. Yes. So one of my cousins helped me to get in. She knew the vice chancellor at that time, so we just talked, and she allowed me to register and start. Okay. So I began my computer science. So yeah. So what's living with your cousin? No, I was a boarder. I opted to be a boarder because I didn't want to continue staying there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you finished just your university after?
Oh no, yes, I did. But now at uni, that's when now.
Okay.
That's when now that little broken girl now started coming out really well. Yes, really well. So that's when I remember when I was living on my dad's side of the family. Alcohol was unknown. It was unknown because my grandfather used to be the distributor, the KBL distributor for Meru, Chukat, Fogore, if I remember correctly, and he passed on the tender to my dad. So I remember most of my childhood would have many parties. There are people who they loved, to have a good time. Sherehe. So, but would have sherehe as a family, and even part of one of their businesses, because they had quite a number, was a bar and restaurant. Okay, yes. So so alcohol, clubbing was unknown. It's something that I didn't think was weird or out of place or strange in any way. For me, it was okay, let's just continue. So now I get to university, and now I'm with kids who also want to have a good time. So I'm introduced to now drinking. Yes, although I hadn't really indulged much of drinking by that time, but then now at that point is when I started drinking.
Okay.
Oh, and I drank. I drank so much. Yeah, I drank. I remember how embarrassing is this. At some point, I remember I would go drinking, and it's like there's some alcohol that you can take, and it triggers something in you, and you can cry. If you have like sadness in you, then that's what is gonna come out. So I remember, and people look at me like, now we're here, like we're supposed to be having fun, but here you are crying. Like, what do we do with you? So that little broken girl came up, and I was drinking and clubbing, and now I have this. Let me call it, of course, they are men at that point. It's men in university, or fellow students who are giving me all this attention. Yeah. So I'm like, what? You think I'm beautiful? Remember, all this time, I have grown up with a very low self-esteem. Because the people who were supposed to love me, I felt like they didn't want me. And that feeling of not being wanted is rejection. And rejection will leave you very with low self-esteem, feeling like you're not good enough. And so when a man comes and he tells you, wow, you are so beautiful, and you're like, you think I'm beautiful? And for me, I think I had really learned how to mask my low self-esteem to the point that nobody knew. No one knew. I was a popular kid. If you talk to someone right now, maybe in my high school, for me, I thought that they could see just how I thought I wasn't anything. I thought I was like the bottom of the gum beneath your shoe, So, but apparently they didn't see that. When I meet people who are in high school, they tell me, they say, Kanana, you were very quiet and very introverted in high school. And I tell them because I was very insecure, and they tell me, no, insecure, no. We thought you were like in a certain class, we didn't want to associate with. So for me, I had really masked it. I had learned how to hide it. Yes, very well. So even in uni, all these people are interested in me, and I'm thinking, wow, nice, like what? And funny enough, before then, I would see my cousins having boyfriends, but nobody. It was like God had hidden me because he knew how broken I was. I would desire for maybe to have a boyfriend, but nobody. Nobody ever said anything. But I thank God. Now in hindsight, I'm grateful. But at that point, it felt like I'm still not good enough even for this man or this young man to notice me. No one notices me. No one sees me, Oh yeah, here I am now in uni, and everybody seems to be seeing me. And so I got to I was lost of the lost, drinking, partying, different relationships, And funny enough, still there were some really good guys who were interested in me, like born again, not clubbing as well clubbing. Now, looking back, I really wasted a few chances, and because those people now are quite something. I would probably be in a relationship with them, but because of still what was going on internally, I was still self-sabotage. Yeah, I would still sabotage the relationship. Yeah. So so that was my life. But I still did very well in my my schooling. I still did very well in class. Okay. Yes, I didn't repeat any unit. So so my mom had no reason to complain. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what happened after you?
No, even before, actually, I remember even before I finished, my mom now came back. Okay. So I was in third year when he came back. And so now here is this person who's come back, and she's supposed to be my mom, but I don't know. And at that time, I remember my mom was very light, very because of the weather there. She was light, back her ears were white. So I was just looking at her like, what is this? Yeah. And now here she is expecting me to be her daughter and to act like it. Okay. So when I say you can't go, you can't go. When I say no more drinking, that's what you should do. And for me, by that time, I was such a rebel. I'll tell her, if you wanted me to turn out the way you wanted, as you desired, then you should have say this date and raise me as you wanted. So that's what I would do. I remember I would even come drunk. Yeah, I'd come home drunk and crying. Yes, now by that time, but I was in third year, so I didn't have anywhere else to go. So she came, rented a place. Okay. We started living together. Okay. And so all this getting now into each other's business. Yeah, she got to know me and got and got to see, oh, this one is drinking and doing all these things. She did. Yeah, I guess she had been told a little bit, but yeah. So it went on like that. I remember at some point, at some point she would tell me, would get into an argument, and I would pick her plates one by one and throw them on the floor. Just because it's out of anger and resentment. Because you see, all these years of me feeling like, had my mom been here, I wouldn't be going through all these things. These relatives were mistreating me, wouldn't mistreat me had my mom been here. That was my song all through a childhood. So that grew into resentment with time. And so as much as she was paying my fees and doing all that, you do it, but to me, you're not my mom. Yeah. So even as we're living, now we're starting to live together, I hate her so much hatred. I would look at her. I think I must have, I can't remember some of the things I told her, but I must have told her quite a few horrible things that a child should not say to her. So, but it wasn't out of, I didn't know better. I didn't know better. So, so I remember now, she would pray for me. She was always a prayerful pastor. I remember her praying for me, always trying to convince me to, go to church with her, SDA. But I would tell her, not a good example to me. You're not a good example of why I should become part of church or join church or join SDA. To me, you don't look like a good example. And so I choose not to. So it went on like that. I finished my uni, thank God. But now by the time she came back, she didn't have fees for me anymore. Couldn't pay my fee. Did you not pay me? No, I was in third year. I was in third year, so I had still about a few semesters to go. Yes, I had about 4 semesters to go, because I think I was in my last trimester, because I used to do 3 semesters in a year of the third year. Okay, so I still had 4 trimesters. Okay, yeah. So I couldn't pay. So what happened was, thank God, by the grace of God, one of my relatives spoke to the vice chancellor, and they allowed me to complete my course without this fees, in promising them that when I get a job, I'll pay. And so by the grace of God, I finished my uni. Immediately I got a job. Although it was a really tough one. It was a sales job. Yeah. So it was walking. I remember I got so skinny because now we are walking, trying to sell things that nobody wants to buy. It was difficult. So I worked there for like 8 months. After 8 months, thank God, by the time I remember I had a really tough boss, which was, I remember her name. That lady used to see me and see what? Or is it just the spirit of rejection just propagating? Yeah. She would see me and ask me, like in front of everybody, and ask me, "You're catwalking into the office for whom?" And little does she know she's talking to a very broken, a person with no self-esteem, and so it just went down, and got worse. Yeah. And so now, at some point, I remember she actually insulted me. Like, she found us in a restaurant with my mom, and I was supposed to be in the field selling at that time. And in that restaurant, she started telling me off in front of people, and that's the day I quit. I quit not because I even knew where I was going to, because by this time my mom is struggling. We are struggling with rent, struggling to eat, struggling. So I quit not knowing what I was gonna do. But it was too much. So but by the grace of God, as I'm walking in town, I bumped into as I was living in my cousin's place in Rongai, I'd met this young man called Martin. And so as I'm walking in town, I meet, me and Martin had lost touch. And so as I'm walking in town, I meet Martin, and I go like, "Oh, Martin, by the way, I just quit my job. Would you know anywhere? Like, would you know anywhere there are vacancies?" And he tells me, "Oh, the company that I'm working for, let me put in a word for you." And so that's how he put in a word for me, and I started working at a really nice company. I got, of course, I started low. I started in call center, which I hated because I didn't want to talk to people. But so I began there for like a year. I was always a very diligent worker. So by the time the year was done, they actually confirmed me even before my time. So they gave me a better position as a pre-sales engineer. I was getting paid. There was no pressure at all in the job. So by this time is now what I can say is when I got into my first serious relationship. Wow. Yeah. So these others were just relationships. 1, 2, 3 months, they are over, but this one now is what I can call my first serious relationship. We met now we're working in the same company. This one that I just started working for. And he had been there for quite a while. But remember, all this time I'm still clubbing, still drinking, lost as lost could be. And so, but for him, it was different. As much as now, everywhere you go, you'll find people. Misery loves company. You'll find people who are in the same vices that you are into. So, even in those companies, I would still find people to go clubbing, drinking. So, but him wasn't into all that. And so I found him different. But by that time, he was in a relationship. He was. But that didn't stop me. I know, right? Yeah. I think I was just trying to prove to myself that I am enough. And so I'll show you that I'm enough. And so it didn't matter that he was in a relationship. So we started talking. Apparently, he was, of course, like any other relationship, having a hard time where he was. And so eventually he left. He left the person he was with to come. And we actually, sadly, got married. After how long? After like, what can I say? Like 3 months. Yeah. And how, like, just to show you just how broken I was, I got married and there was no one there. My parents were not there. It was at the age. At first it was. But now when we decided, okay, no, what happened was, in the middle of this relationship, like now we are compensated, we are, my side of the family know him, his side of the family know me, they've gotten, like, they've accepted whatever has happened and everything. And I remember that's when I got born again. After like 2 years. So it was like not about 3 years into the relationship. And I remember how I got born again was so strange because I had never heard God's voice before. All along, people tried to convince me to get born again, but I would tell them, no, I don't know why not now, but yes. So I remember one night we are sleeping and I hear a voice, and the voice asked me, "What are you waiting for?" So I go like, "What do you mean? What am I waiting for?" And I hear, when are you going to give your life? So then the voice was like, but before this, fun enough, God had already dealt with me about the drinking.
That's so.
Yes. Okay. For some reason, I just lost the task and the urge for it. It just went. Yeah. And I was done with it. Like done, kabisa. And so so now I'm hearing this voice, and the voice is asking me, when are you going to live my life? When are you going to live your life for me? Yeah. And I knew that was God. Funny enough, I knew that was God, although I never heard his voice before. And so that's how I got born again. I think it was on a Thursday. And now that Sunday, I went to the church that I was. We used to go to church because now, and the guy that I was with was a church person. So we go to church. So now I went and did my salvation prayer now at church in front of everybody. And I remember I sobbed right like a baby. I cried so much. And so that's how my life now began to transform. So now I'm here in this relationship, and it didn't sit well anymore. Like with me. Like now,
being in that relationship.
It was like it hit me, I'm in the wrong place. And no matter, because this guy he was such a good guy. Like, he could have done anything for me. Anything. I mean, he would make sure that's the time that I got a car. And most of the money was his. So I even quit my job. I remember after that, now after getting born again, I was so like going through such turmoil internally. Because I couldn't pinpoint and say it's because of this relationship, but internally, just things were not feeling like, wow, okay. So now I didn't know what it was. So I said to myself, bright me, let me quit my job. Maybe then I'll feel better. Because by this time I thought, let me quit my job. I have a passion for young girls. Let me quit my job and begin this, what I called an NGO at the time. And so I quit my job, and he let me, like, I knew he would take care of me anyway. So I felt safe enough to leave my job. But even after quitting my job and starting the NGO, still the turmoil continued. And that's when I realized I got to listen to our preaching. Because I would listen to a whole lot of, like, people who serve Satan and nicely and properly. When they get born again, then they transform and they seek God with all, and they come full circle most of the time. So I used to listen to a whole lot of preaching, a whole lot of Joel Austin, U.S. Meyer, TDJ. I remember at some point I believe it's by the Holy Spirit, I bumped into the preaching for Pastor Torre Robert, and it was about it was about relationships, how to tell that you're in the right relationship. And I remember he said one thing that stuck with me. He said, when you get into a wrong relationship, it's either you sacrifice a relationship or you sacrifice your destiny. And that caught me. And now somehow the Holy Spirit opened my eyes, and I could tell what is wrong is I'm in the wrong place. And now the battle was, how do I get that? And in all these years, because now that was like my 4th year in the relationship, I wanted kids. So for me, I always wanted kids because I was an only child and very lonely. I always said I want many kids and I want to get kids early. So now here I am, in married. So by that time we're going to the ages. I've gotten born again. I've told him, listen, we can no longer continue to live like this. It's either you marry me or to live right with, in the eyes of God. We have to either get married or it ends. So of course, he chose to get married to me. We went to the ages. There was absolutely nobody there who does that. You get married and all you have is a friend. All you have is a friend, and maybe I think it was a friend and some of his sister. I think his sister and the husband. So that's how I got married in that year. So